Hello, everyone, to the first episode of Talk Drama to Me, because she want that D in 2 minutes or less. It's your host, G, with my fabulous co-host and best friend, Tiffany.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
Tiffany, actually, so am I. It's a good day despite all of our audio, all of my audio-visual troubles. Thanks so much for hanging in there.
If only we were doing video so they could see that you are quite literally the epitome of the glass skin advertisement. Like, you are glowing. Your skin is just, I hate you so much.
But I love you because you know I'm easy. You just have to tell me about my, you just have to compliment me about my skin, and all of a sudden the mood has changed. We're here today for our very first pod to talk about vertical dramas, right?
Yes, and I'm very much a newbie, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but the things you do for your best friends, the people you love in your life, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you.
I guess as a newbie, because you have now seen just one or two here, tell me, from your perspective, what do you think vertical dramas are? You know, give us a sense of what you're seeing.
To me, is like the modern day soap opera that's just more accessible to everyone. My mom was really big into soap operas in the 90s, and I think she still watches them. Like, that's how much of a dedicated fan she is. So I feel like probably the reason why my mom got into soap operas is because she was just home alone, breastfeeding me. And she just turned on the television, and it was just like an instant, like, they hook you. And she's like, well, what is this? What is this drama? And, 30 years later, she's still hooked on them. And I think that this is now the modern take on that. This is how you started watching them, right? Like, you're a new mother and you just found something that was quick and easy to get through and kind of instant gratification, more or less, in little bites. So yeah, it just seems like a modern take on what people were into, in the 90s and still are. I think people still watch soaps. It's still very much a thing, so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a mommy. I'm a mamacita, right? And because of that, I started to see these weird ads for those soap operas like shorts. And yeah,
I don't know why.
well, because I started getting them, and then I would send you voice notes like, girl, you've got to see this. You won't even believe, like, yada, yada, yada. I think I sent you the full gambit. It was everything from CEOs to kind of the really far out there ones that are made in Eastern Europe somewhere.
We'll get into that. We're going to have to.
I know. But that's definitely how I got into vertical dramas, was just through the ads. I kind of then lingered on one, unfortunately. And then I think I lured you in with these voice notes. I knew that I could really sucker you in when I got you to download your first app. And I thought, oh, girl, you in danger? As you know now, vertical dramas are on several different apps. There are so many different production companies at this point. But probably the biggest, would you agree, are like Reelshort, probably Good Short.
Today's I watched on Reelshort, and I think you had me download Drama Box, and I don't remember what else you had me download like 4 of them.
Yeah, there's so many now. It's hard to keep them all together, but that's definitely when I knew that we were onto something, that you could join me for this long journey together in 2-minute increments when you started to download these apps. So I thank you for that.
It's a huge community. I was shocked at, like, just for instance, the one we're watching today, it had like 14.1 million saves. Like, that's crazy. And 130,000 something likes. So these are widely watched. I was just in complete shock, because this is a whole world that I truly didn't even know existed. I do tend to kind of live in under a rock.
Of us.
Yeah,
dozens.
Millions. There's millions of you guys. And I had no idea. It probably rivals the numbers of sports fans. That's crazy. Crazy.
Now, to give it away, guys, Tiffany, you are the one who said this should just be a podcast.
Did I really? Was I the one that recommended the podcast? I thought it was you.
Was it me?
Oh, wait, you're right. I think I was saying you could just recap this. Yeah, but you were the one that just, like, the light bulb of, oh, but what if it was a podcast? And then went, like full guns blazing, did the Google Drive, was like, I have a proposition for you. Let's do a podcast, and had your files ready to go. You had the scripts, you had the timeline, you had the tracker in Google Sheets. If only everyone could see how organized you are and just how committed to this you were without me.
As soon as that idea came into my head, it felt like the natural progression of what we were doing anyways. Like, what if it was just longer, right? I'm glad I got you to start watching them versus just recapping the 2 minutes I saw. Guess that brings me to the podcast format. You know, we've gone back and forth about what this should look like. I guess, Tiffany, where did we land on?
I am not watching the full video. I'm watching up until the free preview. And for this one was only 7 episodes. It was very short. And then I have to guess what I think is going to be happening for the entire movie. And then you will tell us how it happens, how it ends, who ends up together, who doesn't.
I like our format because between the two of us really capture the audience experience, right? If you just want to watch the free preview, maybe you're a Tiffany today, right? If you want to go behind the paywall and watch all of it, maybe you're more of a G today. I think you're going to get both experiences out of this podcast.
Hopefully these movies don't get mad at us for giving spoilers.
Okay, first of all, the spoilers, they end up together? Was... Is that hard to predict? Sorry, guys, for the next 20 we're reviewing, they end up together. Spoilers.
Well, then my job's done. See, I'm telling you, you can do this podcast by yourself.
Goodbye.
My predictions are always correct.
Love it. Well, I think then let's get into the classic vertical drama. Guys, if you have been on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube in between the years 2023 to 2024, you have likely come across this ad for Sebastian Klein, a girl standing at the wedding altar, and like a man in a really nice tuxedo comes up and apologizes for being late to his own wedding. And if you look like that, that's okay. No apologies necessary, right? Today's vertical is the double life of my billionaire husband. This is on Reelshort, as Tiffany mentioned earlier. And the tropes we covered today are CEO, secret identity, and flash marriage. The synopsis. Buckling. Under financial pressure, Natalie Quinn agrees to marry Sebastian Klein, the illegitimate loser son of the Klein family. Secrets, chaos, and unexpected romance quickly follow. We
Unexpected.
have I mean, how could you even know? I guess starting with our female lead, Avery Lynch plays Natalie Quinn, who is a desperate daughter juggling the dying mom's hospital bill, hated by her evil steps, ends up in a contract marriage with Sebastian. And honestly, I think she's cute. She's lovable. She really didn't do anything too out there, but cute and lovable nevertheless. Now, we do have a resident social media expert. Tiffany, let me turn it to you.
I'm a self-proclaimed professional stalker. I will find out what you need to know. I found her social through the priest in the scene, in the marriage scene. He posted about being the priest in this movie and then put all their tags. He mentioned all the actors, and that's how I found her. She definitely has the my Instagram is aesthetic vibe. She's not really advertising that she is an actress. It's like, oh, you have to go through pictures, her carousel of photos that have like certain vibes and filters. And then that's how you find out, oh, she's an actress. But there's really nothing else besides that. It's very much her personal life.
She doesn't use her social media to promote her work.
No, I don't know if that makes her more of like a serious actor or not. I don't know if I say that, but she does not promote. There's no billboard screen grabs of any of the movies that she's in. I don't even know if she's in multiple. I did a quick stalk. She has a headshot, but it's from like a couple years ago. And really it's like her travels, her being in the city and things like that. And just like the hot girl pics. You would not know that she is an actress for a living from her Instagram. When I just typed her name in, Avery Lynch, actually a singer, came up. And I thought it was her because that had the most followers. And no, Avery Lynch is a folky brunette artist. It is not the same person. I might go listen to her music now because I came across her looking for this actress.
Well then, let's flip it over to our male lead because Jared Harper, I would say is kind of like a king of verticals. Jared Harper plays Sebastian Klein, aka Bash Myers, or as the steps would call him, Sebastian Decline. God, I love that one. He's the illegitimate son of the Klein family, secretly the CEO of a company, secretly a billionaire, and is involved with the Russian mob. I would describe his character as like cool and definitely charismatic for sure. But tell us more about Mr. Harper.
Jared Harper is definitely capitalizing on him being in these movies. He's just 30K shy of like 200,000 followers on Instagram. He runs his own podcast. He
Is it a vertical podcast?
No, it doesn't. I hate to say he's not really. I don't think he's really my cup of tea. He gives me vibes like he was in a frat. It's that kind of dude, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, you should totally watch Entourage if you want to get the feel of a documentary. That was just a little quote from one of his videos on his podcast. I was like, oh, I can appreciate him from afar because he's a very good looking man, but I don't know if we'd really have anything else to talk about.
Would it be fair to say the spelling of his name may have given it away? It is Jarred.
Yeah, he's a great looking guy though. He definitely has a following. He does these like travel videos with his boo.
Because I am just a thirsty gal. Usually when we talk about these male leads and their social media content, you get some gems where it's look at this body yada yada. And the fact that you have not, it's a little disappointing. So Jared, get on that body yada yada game.
I think that just goes to actually show you how just unenthused I am about him as a person. Although I know you shouldn't judge someone based on their social media or how they portray themselves. Here's him getting out of the water. This is just for you. I don't know who's filming this, but it's just him looking out at the water. And it's always these kind of movies I see people posting. It's like, get ready with me. Or they're getting out of bed. And I'm like, did you put your phone somewhere and then go back into bed and then get out of bed to then...
Yes.
And so I'm like, it's these kind of videos where I look just like, who took that?
Hey, this is how I know you. As soon as you heard Entourage, gave you the ick. You were like, absolutely not.
It's really, I think it's just the way he describes things.
Like, I love the color blue. It's a powerful color. It's the power of like kings. Okay.
Yeah. I watch a lot of HBO. I'm like Larry David from Curb. When I was doing online dating, I can't tell you how many profiles I came across when they're like, what character are you like? And then the prompt, that would be the prompt, and they would answer Larry David. Every guy wants to think they're like Larry David.
Well, why don't we then just dive into the vertical?
Okay. We begin this movie with Natalie Quinn asking her father, George Quinn, to borrow $50,000 her mother's kidney dialysis. George has remarried. His new wife's name is Laura Quinn. She's outraged, but they'll give Natalie the money if she marries Sebastian Klein in place of her half-sister, Cassie Quinn. This read very much to me like 1748, like you're giving up your daughter for dowry. I was very confused at this aspect. Well, then you can marry this person in place of the other daughter. So
hey,
weird.
What's your number? How much would someone have to pay you for a contract marriage?
There's always a number. There's always a number. I mean, what does he look like? Is he interesting to talk to? Is this someone that's just good looking? Sebastian, particularly? Would have to be a big number.
Yeah, let's go with that. You got to marry Sebastian. What's that number?
Oh. I mean, we're talking a lifetime of unhappiness in probably more ways than one. It would have to be in like the 7-figure range. It'd have to be.
Yeah.
Minimum 7 figures. This is someone I'm probably not going to enjoy talking to. I'm going to be spending most of my time out of the house because I just can't be there.
Yeah, and like a caftan. Ugh.
And
yeah,
for me, I'm
agree.
very much my attraction to someone does. I will not be able to be attracted in other ways. I'll put it that way. If I don't think you're
in
cool
adult
person.
ways.
Yeah.
If you're not cool, you're not cool. Yeah, I thought 50,000, like, I would agree with you. I thought 50,000 was a little too low, but also tell me you're in America without telling me you're in America. $50,000 for dialysis? Is that normal?
Honestly, no. the number should be higher. Because do you remember that time when I was in the hospital like 10 years ago for my ovary? One night was over 50K.
Dang.
So you know that number is not right. There's no way.
America, stop accepting less.
Yeah, we don't have, I mean, thank God for insurance, but do they not have insurance? I thought they're rich.
I think the implication here is that George is rich.
Wait, oh, so her mother is poor now.
Yeah, George was married to Jennifer. They had Natalie, and then George and Jennifer divorced. And now George and Lauren are together, and they are rich. And her mom, Jennifer, so George's ex-wife, Jennifer, are now poor.
Wow, he just left her in the lurch. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, George isn't giving like heroic vibes throughout this entire thing, right?
No, he doesn't even dress well. His new wife is not taking care of him.
Get ready for wife number 3.
Ugh, yeah. And that'll be the sequel to this one. But moving on. So she has a sister that was originally supposed to marry Sebastian, and her name is Cassie.
Yeah.
Cassie, we'll see this with a lot of the verticals. Why is the sister just always kind of bitchy? Like they're bitchy or they're after their man. Those are the two tropes we see. But we see Sebastian Klein in jail for driving recklessly. He checks out of jail, walks towards Daniel, his employee, and he's been in jail for only 3 days. Also, I really didn't like that he didn't have regular socks on. He had ankle socks with dress shoes and pants. Did you not see that?
The man's been in jail.
God, well, he was wearing that before he left, so he was dressed inappropriately. God, that really bothered me. I even wrote it in the notes because it bothered me so much.
What bothered me was that they were saying he was a loser. Turns out he's a loser because he drove too fast. This is the
really
reason
all?
why everyone thinks he's a bad boy. Yes, it's because he was in jail for driving too fast, and so he is a loser, and Cassie cannot marry a loser.
Also, it's so funny because reckless driving, they can keep you, but you wouldn't stay for 3 days. It would be like a night, overnight max, and with him, with the money he has, would be maybe a couple hours. Not saying how I know that, but let's just say it's not completely the truth.
All of these are lies. Yeah, Sebastian, just get a better lawyer. What are we doing?
We fast forward to 3 weeks later. Natalie is now in her wedding dress, standing at the altar. There's some sexy music that starts playing, and the groom, Sebastian, appears on camera in a tuxedo, and it's his back first, and then he does a slow spin to then meet you at the camera, which I loved. I thought that was so funny. He is not aware that the Quinns had 2 daughters. So when he gets down there, he's like, oh, I thought I was marrying Cassie. And then they talk about how they're both the black sheep of the family. They exchange rings. They're officially married. He does an open mouth kiss for their first kiss meeting. I thought that was very bold. And then later that night, they're at Sebastian's 1-bedroom apartment. They agree to be a happy couple in public. And when Sebastian's trust fund is released, they can get a divorce. The following morning, Sebastian is eating his breakfast that Natalie made for him. She can't join because she has to return her wedding dress. And then he has a whole moment of like, they didn't even buy you a wedding dress? Like, no, they sure didn't. And then after she leaves in her little Mormon girl outfit, Sebastian calls Daniel to investigate Natalie. He wants to know everything about her. And then just confirms that Natalie had a rough life. So that makes me wonder, is the father he married into money, right?
Unclear.
Because why would she have a rough life? What's her rough life?
She had to get a Coach handbag and not the Chanel handbag.
But honestly, that would make so much more sense if, okay, she had a rough life, if they didn't really have money, but then her father married this woman when he got married for the second time, marries this woman who does have a ton of money, and that's why she's like, you can marry that scumbag, not my daughter, right?
Dude, I love that.
So that's the end of the preview. It was only 7 episodes. It was very short.
That's true. I didn't realize how short it was, but you're right. There's just not a lot of content. I'm going to take you on a wild ride. Something to clear up here is that they allude to the fact that the marriage to a Quinn somehow unlocks the trust fund, but it's unclear how all of those mechanics work. But that's the reason that Sebastian has agreed to marry Natalie sight unseen.
Is it getting, he needs to get married to anyone, or it has to be a Quinn?
It had to be a Quinn, which is why I didn't realize the Quinns had a second daughter, haha, why that becomes important to the plot.
I'm a bit confused, but I'm sure my questions will be cleared up. Or maybe they won't, because that's been my whole theme is I compare vertical dramas to a fever dream. You will hop around to certain things and you won't understand why you got there. And there will be loose ends that just don't get tied. There are some things you just have to accept you will not have the answer to.
Well, before I take everyone back behind the paywall, I would love to hear your predictions about what happens next. Tell me, what do you think happens between Sebastian and Natalie?
So I don't have much to go off of. I'm going off the title. That's a double life of a billionaire. So I'm assuming that Natalie just doesn't even know how much money he has. So I do think that she doesn't know he's a billionaire. They're staying in this apartment that isn't where he actually lives. And I don't know why he's hiding that from her. Maybe so she can get to know him without his money. I think that they're going to end up falling in love, and they do end up together. I wonder if perhaps maybe the stepsister wants in on him and maybe tries to seduce him later on because she's like, oh, he's actually kind of hot, and then tries to go for him. I know when you were reading about the characters, I didn't know that he was involved with the Russian mob, so there might be some tussles there. That was not given in the 7-episode preview. I think that the mother will be able to get her treatments with the billionaire's money, and then won't need the $50K. I hope that the father does end up leaving her and then maybe has a third marriage. Maybe he realizes he really effed up and he's like, let me be there for my first wife as she's going
Third
through
act.
cancer. Yeah, maybe he'll go back to her. I hope he does, because that's pretty crappy to be with that god-awful woman, and then the mother of your child is having dialysis treatments. Like, you're kind of scummy, dude.
So tell me, what happens to the steps? What happens to stepmother and stepsister?
I hope he kicks her to the curb and then they end up just living a life of poverty, and then they can laugh at them from the street. Or maybe the stepsister ends up working for her or something like that.
All right, guys, with that, come with me behind this paywall here. We pick up with Natalie returning her wedding dress, but she runs into some financial trouble. They want more money out of her, and she don't have that. As a flex, Sebastian magically swoops in and buys Natalie some limited edition red bottom heels, size 7. We fast forward to dinner, where Natalie cooked as a thank you, but chides Sebastian for spending $7,000 on heels when he clearly doesn't have the money.
What does she think he does?
Yeah, if my man is spending $7,000 on heels and I don't think he has it, this isn't where the conversation is stopping, right?
Yeah, we're moving out of that apartment.
Right, we're moving in with my parents. Yeah, I don't know what she thinks, but at this point, we're not sure what Natalie does either. I think some important note here is if you believe in, what is it called, the 5 love languages, they definitely are acts of service type people, because cooking for one another continues to be a theme in this vertical drama, which I do find sweet. I know, I love it when people feed me.
What is your love language?
What is my love language? It's been a while since I've done it. I believe I am quality time.
It does change, though, based on, I think, what you're lacking or something, right?
Dude, I'm always lacking time. I'm a mother of 2.
Yeah, I feel like yours would probably be quality time. Maybe acts of service, too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What about you?
I'm definitely a fan of words of affirmation. I'm definitely someone that needs reassurance, and I respond. I have a praise kink. So, yeah, you tell me, good girl. I'll
good
clean
girl.
the entire house. I'll clean the entire house. Your shoes, whatever. No, words of affirmation is a big one. And I think quality time, too. I want to make sure that when we're together, it's like we're locked in.
I usually find that men are words of affirmation. I don't know a lot of women with words of affirmation in the forefront. So in that way, you're very unique.
Oh, yeah. I'm a needy bitch.
Do you see that? Another word of affirmation. There it is. You're a special little flower. Now, we cut to Natalie at her father George's house looking for the money. The evil stepmom, Lauren Quinn, slaps Natalie and she just runs off. No money.
It's a lot of slapping in these movies.
Oh, man. Something's in the water. Natalie returns home to find Sebastian cooking. Sebastian notices a mark on her face and wants to know who slapped her, but Natalie won't share. They discuss Sebastian being the bastard son of the Klein family and his rough upbringing. Again, he could only get, like, the normal Michael Jordans, not the limited edition. It was very sad for him. With Daniel's additional information, Sebastian believes that it was George who slapped Natalie.
Sebastian, he thinks her father?
I know. Which, okay, then maybe he did have a crappy upbringing if that was his conclusion, right?
Yikes.
Double yikes. But to teach him a lesson, Sebastian puts pressure on George's businesses. Through her best friend, Natalie gets a job interview at BME. She is rejected by her old high school bully turned interviewer Serena, and so considers pawning her new heels.
Smart girl. Resourceful.
But then outside of the pawn shop, Russian mobsters steal her new heels. Sebastian again rushes in to save her. He hands Natalie his watch and beats the mobsters. Back at
Why does
home,
he hand her his watch?
this watch must have been like a designer watch, and I am not a watch person. I could probably tell you a Rolex, but that's about all I got. But they spent scenes lingering on this shot. Where did the prop budget go? It went to the watch.
Oh, maybe it must have been something fancy. Oh, so the only reason why he takes off the watch, he's like, oh, I don't want to damage it when I beat these people
Yeah,
up.
it's like a tag heuer or whatever. However you say that. I said that wrong.
Tag Hewer.
Tag heuer.
Hewer. I think.
Back at home, Sebastian is cleaning up Natalie's wounds. The pair's bond grows stronger as Natalie explains the reason why she married a stranger: her mom's hospital bills. Sebastian is mad because if Natalie had money troubles, she should have come directly to him.
Right, to her husband.
This is the quote that popped up on my ads, and I was like, you've told me everything, but now I must watch. My husband? You are the one that said this is all pretend and we should just get a divorce. What choice do I have? I got rejected from BME because the interviewer hates my guts. I married a stranger because my mom is in the hospital and I have no way to pay for her medical bills, and I'm drowning in debt trying to pay them off. I don't know what to do, Sebastian. I'm trying my best. And then Sebastian kisses her.
Is it another open mouth kiss? Because that was pretty bold at the wedding.
I didn't see the technique, so I just, again, laying down on the couch, kicked the feet in the air and said, "Eee!" It's a kiss. We fast forward to see that in order to make the interviewing easier, Sebastian and Natalie move into the city, into Sebastian's friend's penthouse. Wink, wink. It's obviously Sebastian's penthouse. Then, ring, ring. Natalie receives a call. George Quinn has paid off the hospital bill. Yay. Natalie goes to George's house to thank him, but turns out George has not paid the bill. It was someone else. Dun dun dun. At the bar with her friend, Natalie frets over the BME job. She really wants to work there, though rumor has it that its founder, Bash Myers, is involved in some shady business. Suddenly, Natalie's friend checks her phone. Natalie has been hired by BME. Meanwhile, Sebastian quietly handles Russian pawn shop owner Nick Volkov, trying to tie up loose ends in his typical ruthless mobster style. Sebastian needs Nick to help him secure his takeover of the Klein family company. At dinner with Sebastian, Natalie excitedly shares that she has the job at BME and her mom's bills are paid. They have a great dinner and dance. Sebastian also tries to explain the whole scheme to take over the Klein family company, but Natalie falls asleep. And girl, I wish she would have stayed up because we still do not understand this corporate takeover.
She just falls asleep as he's telling his life story. Relatable.
She's like, this is not about me, so I've got to go.
God, the amount of times I've fallen asleep on the phone, or even like when my boyfriend and I are watching something and he's like, "Are you sleeping?" I'm like, "No."
That reminds me, you remember Love is Blind? There's this season between Brett and Tiffany falls asleep on Brett, and that man is pissed.
But they're married now with a child, so they got through it.
So you can survive anything. So
love conquers
Sebastian
all.
And Natalie, yeah, love conquers all. Don't worry about it. So on her first day at BME, Serena corners Natalie, claiming she must have slept her way in, which she kind of did. Serena, you're right on the money there. Later, Serena's fiance, Kyle, tries to move on Natalie, but she rejects him. Over at the Quinn residence, Cassie Quinn discovers that BME CEO Daniel Waters, actually Sebastian,
paid... How many names does he have in this?
Well, remember Daniel, his employee who picks him up from jail?
Oh,
this guy is masquerading around as the CEO, when in fact, it is Sebastian, or Bash Myers.
Got it.
As Natalie runs an errand for her job, we see Cassie Quinn at the company trying to meet with BME CEO. Here, she'll discover that the real CEO is Sebastian Bash Myers. On Serena's misdirection, Natalie delivers hazelnut latte to Daniel, who is deathly allergic.
Wait, what?
I have never tried to kill anyone at work, and maybe that has been my grave error. But yes, her bully, now coworker, Serena, gets Natalie to deliver a hazelnut latte to Daniel, who is deathly allergic.
And I'm assuming she knows this.
So with Sebastian, Serena, and Kyle all present, Daniel is having a severe allergic reaction. Natalie saves him with an EpiPen, and Serena immediately twists it to make Natalie look guilty of trying to intentionally kill the CEO. But luckily, Natalie is no fool. She had a recording of Serena telling Natalie to buy that said latte. Daniel immediately fires Serena. Kyle dumps her, and Natalie walks away unscathed.
Go, Natalie.
Yay. We're at the tail end of this. After evil stepsister Cassie Quinn discovers Sebastian's true identity as Bash Myers, she covertly calls him to a secret meeting at the Ritz-Carlton. Evil stepmother Lauren then has Natalie over to show her pictures of Sebastian and Cassie together in a compromising position. Like the head is next to the other head. Very scandalous. Then we fast forward to see Natalie is packing her things at the penthouse.
Because of the said photo?
Yeah.
Why didn't she just text him, like, or when you see him, like the real crazy girls we are, be like, what the F is this, Sebastian? Like, throw the phone at him, make him pick it up, look at the photos or whatever. Like, cause a scene. You don't just leave. Get some answers.
Yeah. Do a little Columbo routine. Try to figure out what happened. Why would you trust the evil stepmother who has slapped you multiple times since you've been married?
Where's the toxic reaction?
I don't know, but Sebastian actually goes and says, if it's about last night, I can explain. She drunk my drink. I wake up. I call you. Sebastian probably should have told her on that call, but hey, I don't know what I would have done if I was drugged. But nevertheless, she wants a divorce. She knows now that Sebastian is actually Bash Myers and the penthouse is his. Wow, Natalie. Genius, right?
For long enough.
She storms away and finally visits her dying mother at the hospital. She has gotten married, mugged, found the love of her life, lost the love of her life, and now she's visiting her mom.
So she doesn't get Daughter of the Year, but I mean, she did technically pay for the dialysis or help, so I give her a pass. She was busy trying to get that coin so her mother could live.
That's true. You are far more understanding than I am because it's also go visit your mom. Yeah.
I'm just being nice, but in my head, I'm like, this is a horrible daughter. But I'm just trying to be nice.
Your mother is dying. Now, there is breaking news. Sebastian Klein has taken over as the biggest shareholder of the Klein family company thanks to some shady, ruthless mobster tactics. Natalie's mom knows Sebastian is Natalie's husband, and she also knows he's paid for all the medical bills. And as Natalie is leaving their shared home, Sebastian chases after her. Natalie and Sebastian kiss and make up. And the Uber driver she called, who's been waiting, says, "This dramatic romantic shit, do you know how cliche this is?" And we cut to George Quinn losing his house, and we see Sebastian and Natalie at their real wedding. The end.
So they went through with the divorce. And then they just had to get married again? Am I understanding that?
Oh man, what happens in the vertical cinematic universe? Either I missed the point or honestly it wasn't very important. I mean, truly guys, this is how I am reviewing these. Sometimes this review will not follow beat for beat because to be fair, it doesn't really matter, right? G's reviews are less about the facts and more about the story.
Yeah, maybe as you call it, the VCU, it's just a symbolic reunion. Now they're actually getting married as a loving couple, but we're already married. You know, what's that called? A vow renewal, but just 2 days later.
As a Bravo fan, I could already tell them it's not going to work out. If you are doing a vow renewal, Bravo has taught me you it will crash and burn.
Does it matter what year the vow renewal is? Are they doing a vow renewal because they just went through something? Kind of like The Summer I Turned Pretty, spoilers, he proposes to Belly after he cheats on her.
And did that end well, Tiffany? Again, you're right. None of these vow renewals don't end well. So note to everyone out there, don't do that.
Ever.
I don't know, go on a honeymoon. They didn't do that one. They could have just been on a beach somewhere.
Go to Italy like everyone else.
Like you did. Yes, that is correct.
Oh, yeah, because I'm married and went on a honeymoon.
No, weren't you in Italy?
Married. For like 2 days.
2 more than the rest of us. Well, Tiffany, this is kind of that OG vertical drama, the one that started it off for me and probably the dozens of other vertical drama fans out there, because the ads were all over. Truly, truly just flooded the zone with this ad. But you're right, thinking back, the preview, again, was probably not proportional to the story. I still think you got some of it right? You predicted that they were together.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with how little I got to watch. It was really like, maybe 15 minutes of it, not even. So yeah, there was not much to predict. I haven't watched a ton of these. I don't really have like a 5 out of 5 or whatever. But would I continue to watch this? I probably would. Because I do think, yeah.
Interesting. What drew you in?
It's because you said it's one of like the OG ones that everyone has seen. And I don't like to feel left out.
No, I mean, it is true. I think on Reelshort, you identified, millions of people have watched this. This is kind of the gateway drug for a lot of people. So in that way, I do agree with you. Probably just need to watch it to set a good baseline for other verticals. I don't know. Okay. I would say that's the same in the Bravo universe. Sorry to use this example again, but I always think you've got to watch a little bit of original Real Housewives of New York to really understand the Real House universe.
Yeah. That's honestly one of the best ones. I do feel like you need to watch Beverly Hills though too.
OG Beverly Hills. What is it?
Yeah.
These cost $25,000.
They just, they're like the richest ones too. So it's just so fascinating and so cool.
Well, speaking of fascinating, after we've reviewed, we do like to think of different titles, maybe ones that are funnier or more accurate to the storyline. Tiffany, I've got a couple, but you're the newbie here. Why don't I let you take it first?
I was going to say, I completely forgot to do this. So I'm just going to riff this off the top of my head from maybe what the information that I know now. The first thing I think of, maybe who's my husband? And then...
no, but seriously, who is he? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, or like not my husband. Maybe that. Not my husband. And then daughter of the year.
The closest one I have to yours is husband. I hardly know him.
That sounds like the beginning of a Dateline episode.
Maybe it is actually, because we've got to wait for the Double Life Billionaire Part 2 to see how that one ends. What else do I have? I don't know. Some of these are not very good. I do have Loving the Loser Liar.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't very much a loser. Again, he just drove very fast, guys. I don't know if that makes you a loser. That makes you reckless.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could I don't trust men, because George was supposed to give her the money and then he didn't. And then Sebastian, I don't know, cosplayed poor, and I'm not entirely sure what he got out of that. Who else? Kyle, Serena's ex-fiance. He hit on Natalie throughout this entire thing. Again, men are just very disappointing. End of story.
Yeah, and then, so not to just go right back into the story. So Sebastian's in the mob?
Yeah.
And she's okay with her husband being a mobster?
I think she just found out, and then I guess she's doing this vow renewal, so... Yes. It's a big storyline that, because of his rough upbringing, I guess he gets into like mob stuff, and that's how he amasses a lot of his success. In fact, the pawn shop she goes to for the heels is a Russian pawn shop. The guy does things for him to secure the Klein family business, but it wasn't very important. It was just an excuse to have a stunt coordinator on set that day.
She's pulling a Carmela Soprano. She's like, all right, this is the life I want. The dialysis is paid. I can turn the other way if my husband is in the mob. Do you ever watch Sopranos?
Okay, maybe I never watched The Sopranos, and I apologize. Look, of all the heroines, Natalie really reminds me of your classic C-drama type heroine where she doesn't really do much for herself, right? She exists, I don't know, at the pleasure of these other men, I guess. And so because she didn't have a lot of meat to her, it's hard to think of anything really positive other than she's cute. I mean, she really is cute.
Yeah, she's a cute girl. It'll take her far, and it has, to be one of the most popular vertical dramas out there. So hats off to you, girl.
We've been doing it all wrong, man.
I know. If I could go back and redo my entertainment career, I would stick with acting when I started in middle school.
You got big dreams. Can I just award you, or who's getting the imaginary point for the title?
I kind of liked yours, honestly. I did mine off the top of my head, like, in the moment, because I completely forgot.
So I win. All right, perfect. Yeah, so guys, thanks so much for reviewing and recapping one of the classic vertical dramas, The Double Life of My Billionaire Husband. You really could not have missed this, and I do encourage you to watch it because, as Tiffany said, it's kind of important just for your foundational knowledge of the vertical cinematic universe. For the next pod, I'm pretty excited. This will be for Halloween, and so we are going into spooky, scary territory.
Ooh, is it wolves, werewolves, ghouls, vampires? How spooky are we getting?
How could you know what's in my heart? Yeah, I think we've got a little bit of werewolves and a witch story, which is very unusual in this space. So I'm pretty excited to go down that road with you.
Oh, I can't wait. This will be a nice twist and turn. Haven't heard one of these yet or watched one of these.
So with that teaser, thanks so much everyone for hanging in there with us. I may have forgotten to say bye to you. This is our first podcast. Could you tell? I'm also very sweaty. Tiffany, I talk to you all the time. I've been screaming at you over voice notes over this, just mansplaining vertical dramas. And yet here, I'm very sweaty. I'm very nervous.
Yeah, now I need to go take a shower.
Well,
I don't do public speaking.
That is behind the paywall. So thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.